Hey brother, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, brother.
Today we are going to start a very good service of spreading the word of Allah to everybody, not only to Muslims, but to all religions, because Allah
Okay.
is God in Arab. That's it. So God belongs to
Okay.
everybody. He is not restricted
Okay.
only to Muslims. So it is our duty to spread the word of Allah to everybody in
But
in a very simple language.
Muslims don't accept as Allah as
Hmm.
God in Arab, but
Hmm.
they have certain
So they mean
meanings
Allah,
for them.
they consider Allah to be master, right?
Yeah, they have many names for them.
Many names. Oh,
Not only Allah, because Allah has many names.
many names.
You
Okay.
can call Allah or by His names
Okay.
as a
Hmm.
provider, sustainer, protector.
Oh,
Like that, you can call any name, not
many
only
names.
Allah.
Okay. Okay, brother.
You can
So,
call by his attributes.
okay. So, this is going to be the first video of this series. So, I think it would be appropriate to give the basic introduction uh, about Allah, uh, who He is, what is his relationship to us, why should he in the first place help us. So we need to give this introduction. So by following this introduction, if you read not only Quran, if you read Bible, Bhagavad Gita, whatever religious scriptures you read, you can easily understand, because what we are going to say you is the direct knowledge of God, Allah. So God says this world is a 5,000 year time cycle, which is called Kalpa. So, whatever happens in one Kalpa repeats Kalpa after Kalpa. To understand it very easily, so if you are listening to this video now, it means you have listened it 5,000 years back on the very same day, and you will again listen to it after 5,000 years on the very same day. So, it is so accurate. And God says the first half of this 5,000 year Kalpa is heaven. This world where we live in was heaven in the beginning, because that's how God would create. He would create this world in uh, with everything in abundance, be it wealth, health, happiness, love, peacefulness. Everything was in abundance. So that's why it was called heaven. For the first 2,500 years, it was heaven. But what happened after that is we convert this world into hell. So that is exactly where we are now. And in this 5,000 year time cycle, we are at the last 100 years of one kalpa. That is the just 100 years before the destruction of this old world. God himself comes from his supreme abode. This is where God resides. He is called Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians, God Shiv by Hindus. God is just one. And all the rest are souls. That is us. Before taking this body, we were like a tiny point of light along with God in the supreme abode. So that's where soul descends from and takes birth in heaven. And not all souls descend at the same time, because depending on the power of the soul, power of purity. If a soul is 100% pure, it will take birth in the beginning. If it is just 90%, it will take birth after some time. So likewise. So those souls are worshipped as deities by Hindus till date. They are not gods. They are deities. They are also humans like us, but with divine qualities like love, peace, blissfulness, purity. So their eyes will always have a pure vision. They don't have lust in their eyes. Their words don't hurt you. Their words will be very sweet. So that's why they were called divine beings or deities. Where have they all gone now? Nobody knows that. And
But
God in the end,
angels,
yeah, angels. You can call them
angels,
angels. Yes.
okay. But
Mm.
now angels are there or not? Because in according
Yeah,
to
I
Quran,
will. I will
we
say that
believe
because
that angels are.
angels refer to two beings. So
Oh,
Christians and Islams are not aware of original angels who lived on earth. They were called deities. There are temples for them.
okay.
And what they mention as angels, I will come later. So, where have they all
Okay.
gone? God says, and God Himself comes in the end. He enters an old man's body and He names him Brahma, and He starts giving teachings through Brahma's mouth. So, that is why in Hinduism it is believed Brahma created this world. If that were the case, where is the temple for Brahma? You can't find it. You hardly find it. The- but rarely you can find it. In Tamil Nadu, maybe one or two places there might be. But there is no separate temples for Brahma in general. So it proves that he is not God. Then who is God? God doesn't take birth from a mother's womb like you and me. So he needs a human body because he wants to give this knowledge to humans. Only humans can grasp this knowledge, not animals. That's why the particular human into whom God enters, that man is called Brahma by God himself. God names him as Brahma. This Brahma is considered as Adam by Christians and Muslims. So the creation starts through him by giving knowledge through his mouth because God doesn't have a mouth on his own. He actually doesn't have a body at all. That is why we don't see God. So God says those deities, after taking several rebirths for the first 2500 years, they slowly become humans with devilish quality like lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So these five vices are present both in men and women. So it is this combined form is called ten-headed Ravan, which is called Satan in other religions. So it's not a human being. Those vices, these five vices are called Satan or Maya or Ravan. We become slaves to those vices. Why? Because in heaven all men and women were so beautiful. You can't even compare them to the Miss World or Mr. World here. They were so beautiful, but still they don't lust each other because they were not body conscious. Instead, they were soul conscious. They consider themselves to be souls all the time, no matter what they do. No matter how beautiful the person they are interacting with is, still their concentration, their focus is on the soul. It is the soul that speaks through this body, sees through the eyes, performs everything with this body, and they are constantly aware of it. And that is the reason they were constantly blissful and peaceful because the very nature of the soul itself is blissfulness and peacefulness. But what happens after 2500 years is they slowly become body conscious. So that is when they no longer consider themselves to be souls, because of which they no longer maintain blissfulness constantly. So they seek out pleasure from the external world, which is called sensory pleasures. So they become addicted to sensory pleasure. Then these Maya emerge from them lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So we all become slaves of these five vices. So in Hinduism, Ram went to Sri Lanka to bring back Sita. So the whole world is Sri Lanka. Because if you see from the sky, the world itself appears like an island, like a Sri Lanka. So everybody in this world is a slave of Satan now. So God has come to rescue us all. So the same story is mentioned in a different form in Bible and Quran as the slaves of Egypt. So here, slave of Ravan, they're slave of Egypt. So it doesn't mention, it doesn't mean the slave of human to another human. It means the slave of Ravan or Satan. We all humans are now slaves of Satan. So God has come to save us from the slavery of Satan, because it is because we are slaves to him we are suffering because of karma. Because since we become addicted to these five vices, we start committing sin after sin without even knowing that it is sin. That is the reason we are suffering from many diseases, natural calamities, and wars, and many sufferings. So God comes in the end to save us all from these sufferings of hell. Not only that, He is also giving this knowledge to take us back to heaven. How? God reveals about the heaven, every aspect of heaven. How we were, the main aspect is we were soul conscious. That's the reason we were not addicted to the external world. Now, even though this world is hell filled with sorrow, we still get attracted because our soul has no power. So God says, I'm also a soul just like you. Now God gives his own introduction, which you don't find in any religious scriptures, because everything was created by humans. So if any religion was created by God, he will actually give the introduction about himself, how he is, where he is, what his occupation is. So since it was created by humans, you don't find anywhere else. So God himself says, I was the resident of this supreme abode. I'm also a soul like you. You shine like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, whereas I reside here constantly. Nonetheless, I come 100 years before the destruction of this world, because only I have this knowledge that will save you from the suffering of the sins of your past births. And also God teaches us about the charitable action, good actions, that is necessary for us to reach heaven, to take birth in heaven. For that God says, first consider yourself to be soul and remember the supreme soul, Allah, as much as possible. No matter what you do, whether you eat, whether you take bath, whether you chat, whether you drive, just connect your mind with Allah, with God. So the more you connect your mind with God, the more you become pure like God. You don't become God, but you become pure like God. So that is the reason everybody in heaven are still being worshipped, because they are equal to God in terms of purity, not in everything, in terms of purity and the divine qualities. But the difference between God and deities is, Muslims usually say we will worship only the creator and not the creation. So deities are the creation, wonderful creations of God, but still they are the creation. And God is the creator. By giving this knowledge, he creates heaven. So the difference between deities and God Shiva is, the number one deity is God Krishna. That's why in Hinduism, they celebrate the opening ceremony of heaven during Vaikuntha Ekadashi. So nowhere in the world they have the celebration of opening the door to heaven. So because he is the king of heaven, number one king of heaven, Sri Narayan. So What's the difference? And people in Hinduism, they even fight with each other on who God is, whether it is God Shiva or God Lord Vishnu, because God is just one. Lords, everybody in heaven are called Lord and Lordess. So, what's the difference between Vishnu and God Shiva? It is by taking this knowledge, an ordinary man of this old world becomes Vishnu. So it is through God Shiva he becomes Vishnu. So he is the creator. And another thing is, God makes him equal to him by giving this knowledge. So that's what in Quran and Bible it is mentioned. God is making man out of clay. It doesn't mean you should not take it literally. It means clay refers to one of the elements, 5 elements, and this body is made of 5 elements. So we are so body conscious that we don't even consider about soul. We don't worry about soul at all. So God gives this knowledge and makes us equal to him. So there God uh, breathes his breath into Adam and he wakes him up. They have mentioned like that. And also they mentioned that Jesus will come in the end and he will wake everybody from the cremation ground. Both refers to the same thing. So it is like if we have forgotten whom we are, it's like we are dead body. We are dead to the truth. So God gives this truth and he wakes us up. So and even in Hinduism, um, there is a devil called Kumbhakaran who always sleeps. So God comes to wake him up. So it is we who are the real Kumbhakaran. So God wakes us up by giving this knowledge. And this knowledge, although given directly by God, it is very simple to understand. In essence, it is just one sentence. What is that? Consider yourself to be soul and connect your mind to the Supreme Soul as much as possible. That's the knowledge of God. It may sound simple, but you know the power of it. It is only by practicing this yoga. Yoga means connecting our mind with God. This is called Raj Yoga because through this yoga we attain kingdom. We become kings, Raja in Hindi. So that's why God's knowledge is pretty simple. You don't need any religious scholar to understand this because God is equal to everybody, all religion, to intelligent one, to the dumb one. God is equal to everybody. So God's knowledge will be the simplest in the world. You can't find any simple knowledge like this. Just consider yourself to be soul and remember me, the Supreme Soul, as the point of light as much as possible. In addition, you also have to listen to the teachings of God through Brahma Kumaris. So, whatever he teaches through Brahma, and whoever listens to that knowledge with faith, he in that instant becomes Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari, which means sons and daughters of Brahma or sons and daughters of Adam, the first forefather of humankind. So, the more we listen to him, the more God is able to caution us to stay away from body consciousness. So, throughout Quran, it is mentioned you have to kill yourself. You have to kill yourself. So, no religious scholar will ever be able to give the meaning of that. So it is very direct compared to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Although it means Mat means direction, Sri means highest direction. So highest direction will definitely from the highest one, God. But still, even that, in that, he asked him to kill others, not himself. He asked Arjuna to kill everybody. And he says they are just souls. Death is only for the body, not for the soul. Which is also correct in one aspect. It is not about the killing, literal killing. It is about forgetting. It is about killing the body consciousness. That if it is your wife, kill that relationship, not killing the wife. Kill that relationship. Consider her to be the soul. Don't even look at her as the body. Because the soul, if it takes a man's body, we call him as men. If it takes a woman's body, we call her as girl. But soul is the same. It takes birth as man and women alternately. So that's why God says, you just see the soul. When you see the soul, you no longer see the body, which means you are burning the body at a mental level, which you can call killing them. So that's the killing that is mentioned in all religious scriptures. This is the true jihad, or what is that called? The war for becoming pure. You don't become pure by killing anybody or killing yourself. You become sinner by killing others, or even by committing suicide. But it is by killing those 5 vices you become pure. But how do you kill those vices? As long as you are body conscious, you will be addicted to those 5 vices. That is why God asks us to come out of this body consciousness, which means killing yourself. So we refer the life leaving this body as death. So here God says, consider yourself just to be soul without this body, which actually happens, normally happens after death. But you are not dying here, but you have to die alive. That is, in Hindi, it is called Mar Jiva. That is, Mar means dead, so Jiva means alive. So you have to be alive, also you have to die alive. So that is the thing we are going to see today also. So in Quran, repeatedly it says about killing yourself. You have to be ready to die. But because people are not aware of this godly knowledge, it is very easy to divert them into terrorism by showing them, see, Allah says, kill yourself. So you should be ready to sacrifice your life to protect our religion. But God says our religion is peace. Because that is the true religion of the soul. Peace is the true religion of the soul. That's why we start by calling each other as Om Shanti. Om Shanti means, Om means I am a soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows. And Shanti, in all Indian languages, it means peace. So I am a soul, my true nature is peace. So that's the thing. So whatever makes us forget our true nature, we have to consider it as our enemy. And the number one enemy is lust. So as soon as we see someone attractive, we become body conscious. If you see a very beautiful girl, you fall for her beauty, which means you consider yourself to be a man, which means you become body conscious. So that's why God says, no matter how attractive anything before you is, just caution yourself to focus only on the soul and not on this body. It's like the tree. This body is like a tree and the soul is like a seed. So that is why in Mahabharat, Arjun is the favorite student of his teacher Dronacharya. And when someone asks why you are showing this partiality, why only Arjun is your favorite? So then, to prove the worthiness of Arjun, he conducts a competition of aiming the arrow. So when he calls one by one, everybody says after aiming a bird in a tree, Dronacharya asks what you see, and they say, I'm seeing the tree, I'm seeing you, I'm seeing everybody, and I'm seeing the bird. So everybody responds likewise. But when he calls Arjuna to aim and he asks Arjuna what he sees, Arjuna says, I am seeing just the point in the eye, I don't see anything else, which actually means his focus is on the soul. But in that story, it is like that. No, in no religion, the direct knowledge is there. But we are revealing that. We are not falsifying any religion. We are saying we are actually making all religion appear true by giving this knowledge. Even in Quran, it is said, uh, you are holding on to whatever your religious leader has taught you. In that case, in that effort, you are ignoring the true word of Allah. Allah's word will make everything that came before that as true, but none of them has ever done that. Jesus says that I have come to make the past Old Testament into truth. But he didn't do that. He just said that, that's it. But now we are saying how everything is related to each other. So the now by understanding this knowledge, so this is the introduction which is very essential to understand not only Quran, whether be it Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, Quran, Bible, whatever religious text you read, without this direct knowledge of God, no matter how many years you spend in doing research, you will find absolutely nothing. And you will see the truth of it yourself. We are also putting Bible. As of now, we are doing it only in Tamil. So pretty soon we will start it in English also. So now this is our first Quran video, and we have already started seeing it in Tamil till chapter 2, 89th verse. So don't worry, it repeats quite often the truth. So you will not be missing anything. So whenever the chance comes, I will be revising what he has mentioned before, what God has mentioned before. So now we are going to see the 90th verse of chapter 2. Go on, brother.
Okay. Outrageous is what they earn by rejecting the grace of Allah out of envy, losing out on their souls, because Allah has bestowed His benevolence upon whom He willed of His bondsmen. And thus they had invited on them anger upon anger, and a disgraceful punishment awaits for those who deny.
Super. It's amazing thing. So every religion, they don't accept the word of Allah. They say our religion doesn't say this. Show us, they will say. That's why we are showing this. We are discussing about Ramayana, Bible, Quran, everywhere, like Zakir Naik. So people get so jealous when they hear the true word of Allah, although they know it is very logical, very trustworthy. It also proves whether it's Quran or Bible or Ramayana, but still they ignore the true word that comes directly from Allah out of jealousy. Or you can also say in other words, out of attachment towards their own religion. So by ignoring them, by holding on to what they have already been taught by the religious scholars, they are becoming worthy of the anger of Allah. So what is in store for them is nothing but pain and sorrow. That's what this 90th verse says. And we would like to add some more thing, because God doesn't get angry. We call God equals love. Love is God. God is love. So this particular thing is not the true nature of God. He never gets angry like humans. That's the human character. God doesn't become angry. God doesn't become lustful. God doesn't have even the trace of these five vices. So that's why he is able to make us as pure as himself. But by ignoring his word, it is you who is punishing yourself, not God. It is your action, your sinful action, that punish yourselves, not God. Or in other words, you can call the Satan punishes you, but it is
So,
not the act of God.
what is his words you are trying to say? What is his words?
So that's what we have seen. We have to,
What?
by remembering God as much as possible, what happens is, thanks for reminding me, brother. I think I haven't completed that. By remembering Him as much as possible, our soul will be filled with the power of God. God is always powerful because He doesn't take body to lose the power. He never becomes body conscious, although He enters Brahma's body. So He is always soul conscious and He makes us soul conscious. So by becoming soul conscious, our soul is filled with the power of purity. So once you become filled with the power of purity, you will no longer be attracted to any worldly things. So obviously you will be getting rid of those five vices. So that's the core teaching of God. So by ignoring this, because people are so addicted to sensual pleasures, so they would say, no, our religion doesn't say give up eating non-vegetarian food, give up sex, give up angry. Our religion doesn't say. See, Sri Krishna says, kill Arjuna, kill. So we are taking weapon. So that's how they will say. But God says, I never said that. Religions are created by humans. I have no connection with it. I come only once and give my teaching directly. He doesn't send any messenger. So he comes directly and gives his knowledge. Although people know in their heart that this is true, but still because of their addiction to these five vices, vicious habits, they don't want to follow this. And that is the reason the punishment is reserved for them, not because they don't listen to God. Directly, God doesn't punish you, first. Second, you are not punished for not listening to God. You are punished for your past sins. But God gives you the way to come out of those sins. It is because you turn dumb ear to Him, deaf ear to Him, you are getting punished because of your carelessness. So God doesn't punish you. So God says you have sinned in your past birth and also in your past life in this birth. Now you have to remove even the trace of it from your soul by just filling your mind only with God and His knowledge and about heaven, because that's the aim. The very reason God gives this knowledge is not for living in this world. Actually, God gives us to renounce everything. His basic teaching, no matter what religion we refer to, the essence of all religious teaching is to give up all worldly pleasures, whether it's lust, anger, greed, attachment, or all sensual pleasures. So that's why in Quran and Bible, when God orders Ibrahim to sacrifice his child, without having the second thought, he just takes him to kill him. But you should not take that literally. God never asked anybody to kill him. It is also, there is a similar story in Hinduism also. God Shiva comes as a devotee and he asks his devotee to prepare food. And when the devotee asks what kind of food you want, he says, I want food made of the curry of a child. And he gets shocked. But still, he has already promised. So he gives some specificity that only refers to his child, the devotee's child. So he has no other option. So he kills his own child and he makes the ingredient. And God Shiva, before takes the food, he asks him to take food first. which means he is asking his devotee to eat his own son's meat first. So when they start eating, he says, stop, stop. Where is your child? Bring him. So they don't know what to do. So they call his son. He goes to the next room and he calls his son. And his son come running towards him. And they got shocked. And they see the floor. There is no plate, no meat, no food. And they are seeing the Shiva devotee and he is no longer there. Only then they realize it is God that comes. So he is one of the 9 months. So, but in reality, God is not going to do like that. So the actual secret behind that is you should not have attachment to anybody, because our attachment will be, for guys, their attachment will be towards his wife and his sons or daughters. So mainly that more attachment will be towards his son, because man can have more wives, they can even divorce everything. But with kids, they can't divorce. So there will be unconditional love and attachment. God says that's your enemy. Because if somebody hurts your child, you will not even hesitate to kill him. That makes you a sinner. That's why God says you should not have attachment to your family, your religion, your caste, your language, your country, because all these things will make you commit sin. So that is the thing. So how do you become like that? It is by, because we have become so weak. That's why we are seeing so much quarrel among people, wars, because they have zero tolerance towards each other, because the soul has no power. So in order to fill our soul with the power, we have to remember God as much as possible, constantly. So that's the teaching of God in essence. So that's why if you ignore the teaching of God, then even God can't save you from your punishment. So that's the actual way of saying this verse. I'm just rephrasing it so that we don't cause any blame on Allah, because He is not the one who is angry. He is always loving. He is saying this to us just to save us. Just for our safety, He is saying this. So that's the main thing. And you would like to add anything?
Chapter 2, verse number 90. Miserable is what they sold the souls for, rejecting what God has revealed. Out of resentment, that God would send down His grace upon whomever He chooses from among His servants. Thus they incurred wrath upon wrath, and there is a demeaning punishment for the disbelievers. So, God sent down His grace upon whoever He chooses among His servants. Among His servants, in the sense, for a whole mankind, not only for prophets or not only for messengers. His soul is being sent down for a whole man among the mankind. He chooses His servants. So His soul is sent down to everyone. So those who reject that, root inspiration, they are the disbelievers. So for them, thus by rejecting that soul, that inspiration, which is above our 5 senses, which is above our knowledge, because of rejecting that, we are incurring wrath upon wrath in us. So they are the believers. So for them, there is a demeaning punishment for the disbelievers.
Disbelievers.
Yeah, it's my understanding.
Yeah, that's true, brother. Because here God sends His grace, not His messenger. That's the main thing. He
Yeah, His
Himself
grace
comes,
is.
because His grace, His mercy, He reveals Himself in the end. But when He
Okay.
comes and gives His message, people already belong to several religions and they hold on to their religious scriptures and they say we will
Okay.
not come out of it. If it is mentioned in our religious scriptures, only then I will accept. But
Okay.
even after proving that God's message is still there in their whatever religion they belong to in that scripture, still they don't want to accept this. They don't want others even to accept this. They don't want others to be blessed by God because of
Okay.
their status they hold. Because if everybody goes out of them, then there won't be nobody following them. So it is out of jealousy they are doing this. But God obviously comes not in any religion, He will come out of all religion. So because He belongs to everybody, He doesn't belong just to one. If He comes in, for example, only in a Hindu religion, then others will say, how can God come only in one religion? So that's why He comes out of everybody. So He doesn't belong to any religion. Instead, all religion belongs to Him. So everybody should listen to His word. There is no choice. If not now, even then, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, people will have to accept His knowledge because that's the only way to liberate from this sinful world. When the world is getting destroyed, so here God's knowledge is just to remember, consider ourselves to be soul and remember God as point of light as much as possible. Just a single line message. So, but now God says you have to give up on five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. Nobody is ready, willing to do that because their religion supports them falling into those vices. That is the reason they hold on to their religion. So, for those disbelievers, there will be punishment not because of disbelief, because they haven't followed the path of God, which helps them to destroy the sins. Since they don't follow it, they don't destroy their sins and they are punished for their sins, not for not believing God. God is not a psycho. He is always loving. He wants us to save us from our past sins. So that's why in Christianity they call him a savior who protects us from our sins. So
So,
I'm 91, brother.
so that's what religion means. It's a way.
Yeah,
The meaning of religion is a way.
wait.
So Islam is a way of life, not a religion.
Mm,
So, according to my understanding, here
mm,
what God revealed is it is for everyone. It is for whole mankind. What
yeah,
He reveals is He reveals a message in everyone's breath about their future, about the what's next. So thus, by rejecting that, when they reject that message, when they reject that God's message which is in the breath, then there is a demeaning punishment for the disbelievers. They are the disbelievers, according to my understanding.
yeah.
So now we can see the 91,
Next verse.
and when it is said to them, believe in what God has revealed. They
That's
say we believe in what was revealed to us,
yeah. Now
and they
God,
reject
yeah,
anything.
no, yeah. That's why God comes in the end. That's why in
Okay,
Hinduism they say Kalki Avatar will happen in the end, second coming of Jesus Christ. But Jesus is not going to come. Krishna is not going to come because their time has finished. They will be taking rebirth and they would have forgotten everything. But now only God will come and He will reveal Himself. When we say God Himself has come, they will say it is not in our religious scriptures. We will believe only what was revealed to us by our uh, religious founders. So that is he is saying it directly. When it is said, believe in what God has revealed, they say, we believe in what was revealed to us in our religion. We will not come out of that. And they reject
so
anything beyond that. So it's very amazing. If it is
okay,
not
okay.
in our religious scripture, we are not going to believe it. No matter how logical it is, we don't bother. Although
So
it
my
is
point of
the
view is,
although it is the truth which confirms what they say. whatever the religious
what they
scriptures
have.
they hold, yeah, whatever the religious scriptures they have, we are even saying, see, even in that particular religious scriptures, this point is there. Not actually, no religious scriptures is 100% the words of God, but still, word of God will be there to some extent in all religious scriptures. So, whatever God is giving, it will definitely be in all religions. Somewhere we have to find it. That's it. We are showing that. Despite that, they are rejecting it. Then here in
So,
Quran it is said, okay, if you are holding on to your religion, then why did you kill your God's prophets before? If you are believers, so this applies only to Muslims. So in Quran, it seems that people have killed many prophets before because of
okay.
not believing. So ask them, you are not even believing this, you are not even believing God. You are not believing your own religion and also not believing what God is saying because you don't want to accept what you can't follow. God's way is extremely different. If any religion says you have to go to your religious place just by walk, they are ready to do it. If you don't have to eat for 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, they are ready to do it. But if God says you have to give up lust, you don't have to do it, give up anything, they are not ready to give up lust because they are so addicted to it. That is the main reason they are not ready to accept this. So that is why
So,
he says
my
that's the root cause of all sins. If you are not going to remove the seed of the sin, then who is going to save you? That's what God says, brother.
tell my point of view.
Uh,
For my let me tell my understanding
mm,
for the verse 91.
mm,
Believe in what God has revealed. When it is
mm,
said to them, believe in what God has revealed, and they say we believe in what was revealed to us,
yes.
which means God is revealing His message, about future in everyone's breath. When God said now, it is He is saying now believe in what God has revealed now in your heart.
Mm,
But they say we believe in what was revealed to us, which means knowledge.
mm,
Till now, whatever we
mm,
uh, have been revealed to us, whatever we know, whatever the knowledge we have,
mm,
they believe in that only. So that they are rejecting what is revealed to them now.
mm,
Now God is each and everyone's breath about future.
mm.
I can see some disturbance there.
Yeah, it hangs for a while. You can repeat
Okay.
what you said just now, brother.
Okay, right.
Mm,
So when it is said to them, believe in what God has revealed, they
mm,
say we believe in what was revealed to us.
mm,
So for each and every one, now God is revealing His message
mm,
in everyone's breath as inspiration.
mm,
We are inspiring His message
mm,
about future. We don't know what's going to be next, but we want it to be good. Uh, So that is the message of which is revealed now. But
mm,
what they say is we believe in what was revealed to us. They believe in what was revealed means, and they believe in the past knowledge. Whatever they know, only they are believing. They
mm,
are not believing in what they don't know. Next is not. Next is the we don't know what will be the next.
mm,
But we need the good. We need the good to happen in our life. So it is what it is said here, believe in what God has revealed now in your heart through His soul
mm,
as a wahi, as an inspiration, as a message to everyone.
mm,
But they reject this. No, I can't believe it. I believe in what I know only. I can't
mm,
believe in the new message
mm,
about future
mm,
like that. So every prophet gave this message only.
mm,
When every prophet said this, they rejected them, which
mm,
means they are killing them.
mm,
When they insulting them, when they are rejecting them,
mm.
it is a sign of killing them, and they would have killed physically also.
Yes.
So this is what it's a common message for everyone. It is a message for the whole mankind. It is talking about the how we have to move forward from now on. What we have to believe. Like that, it is talking about. So we can go to next verse 92.
Okay, brother.
Moses came to you with clear proofs, yet you adopted the calf in his absence, and you were in the wrong. I will complete this. I will give my small
Yes,
explanation.
brother.
Yeah, that's what Moses came to you with clear proofs, yet you adopted calf in his absence. Calf means hastiness.
Mm.
When message is revealed to us now,
Mm.
in our mind, it
Mm.
is about future, and we need to be patient till that has to happen.
Mm.
But when we take hastiness,
Mm.
we are in the wrong path.
Mm.
So Moses came to clear proof, means he gave the signs um, about God. You have to be. You should not believe in the knowledge, past knowledge, whatever you have.
Mm.
Start believing in the unseen message which is in your heart.
Mm.
But because of hastiness, when Moses was not there in his absence, they took the hastiness. Because of that, they started rejecting the
Mm.
message of Moses and rejecting Moses also. What Moses said also they rejected.
Yeah,
So they started doing wrong.
yeah. Because
And let me tell you, yeah,
yeah,
you tell your explanation.
according to Bible Old Testament, there will be miracle after miracle through Moses to make the
Okay.
king believe him. So he will make a stick into a snake. He will do many miracles. Whenever he sees the miracle, he will start believing in God, and within few minutes, his mind becomes so hot that he becomes a disbeliever, just like that. So again, he will perform another miracle. So miracle after miracle. Despite that, their heart becomes so hot, like a stone. So that is the condition now. No matter how many proofs we give, that whatever mentioned in your religious scriptures, we are saying that no matter. So it is us that is represented as Moses in the religious scriptures. So, but they are not ready to accept that. Instead, they take calf in his absence. So we have already mentioned. I don't know whether we said it in English, but in Tamil we said calf represents human. So in Hinduism, the cow is the uh, what do you call Vahan, vehicle for God Shiva. So which means God is just one. He is called Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. He is just one. He doesn't take birth at all. But despite that, he needs a body to give this knowledge. So he takes a human body and he names him Brahma, and that Brahma is mentioned in Bhakti Marg, in the path of devotion, as Nandi, which means cow. So here calf means human. So instead of following the path of God, you are following the path of humans. So that's what they mean. So because all the religions, they belong to the path of devotion. They are created by humans. So instead of following God's knowledge, you are following human knowledge. So that's why uh, human knowledge means human knowledge dictates it's okay to have lust, it's okay to get angry, it's okay to kill, it's okay to do all sinful things. All you need to do is you need to pray according to your religion. That's it, that's enough. Go to your religious place, then you do prayer according to your religion. That is what religion is. Don't pray other gods. But that's not the point here. Here the point is you should give up all the human dictates and follow only the directions of God. So when even though God says it repeatedly, our previous sanskar, which is recorded in our soul, makes us commit sins again and again. So that is the deepest secret in this particular 92nd verse, brother. So actually,
Okay.
this is what repeats verse after verse till 96. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay, brother. Let's say the
So
93.
93.
Mm,
And we made a covenant with you and raised the mount above you.
mm,
Uh, with everybody, there is a God made a covenant with everyone, which by
mm,
His message, by His
yeah,
inspiration. Each and
mm,
every second He is inspiring
mm,
everyone to live. With that inspiration is everyone is wish to live.
mm,
Without that inspiration, no one will wish to live.
mm,
So, and we made a covenant with you and raised the mount above you.
mm,
Take what we have given you firmly and listen.
mm,
They said, we hear and disobey, and their hearts become filled with the love of the
mm,
calf because of the disbelief. When they reject
mm,
the covenant with the God, with that agreement with the God, that
mm,
belief in that message, when they reject the message,
mm,
uh, her hearts become filled with hastiness, which
mm,
means with the love of the calf means
mm,
her hearts become filled with hastiness.
mm,
So after this,
mm,
uh, say, rest is what your faith commands to you do if you are believers. So
mm,
whatever now, when they are filled with hastiness, whatever when the belief, when their faith commands,
mm,
it is wrong only.
mm,
So it is what said, rest is what your faith
mm,
commands to you to do.
mm,
Whatever your faith commands to you to do, it is rest.
mm. Yes, that's nice, brother. So, in simple language, covenant means agreement.
Yeah,
So,
உடன்படிக்கை. Yeah, agreement.
yeah, God makes agreement with humans. So here I'm unaware of what mount he is representing, because contrary to Bible it will be like history. Uh, so in order, but here it's not in order. So maybe if you know Bible fully, then you can understand. If you read Quran from the beginning. But here they say about the raising the mount, which I'm totally unaware of, according to Quran and Bible. But according to God's knowledge, direct knowledge given through Brahma Kumaris, God says there is a mount of sins above your head. So it's so huge that you have been accumulating birth after birth. So I'm giving you the guarantee that I will lift the mountain of sins if you follow my direction. So that's the agreement between God and us. So whatever I say, listen to it and have firm faith and put it into practice. That's what God's teaching is. But people, so whoever listens to God's direct knowledge, they listen to it daily. But so here we need to give up those five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. Especially these two vices, lust and anger. It's torturing humans like anything. Because especially after listening to knowledge, you will find the circumstances that makes you fall into lust and anger over and over again. So which means you are, although you listen to the direct knowledge of God, which is mostly available in Brahmakumari's Rajog Meditation Center, still you fall and fall daily. So which means your faith, uh, God says there is wrong in your faith. So that is what is mentioned here also. Doesn't mean faith is wrong, but it is not firm. It is not to the extent that is needed to come out of that sin. You have faith, but as soon as you see the Satan, you fall for him, because you were the slaves of him for the past 2500 years when this world was hell. So he knows better how to make you fall. So you need to fill your mind with the knowledge of God. You have to fill your mind with the remembrance of God. Only then you will have the power to withstand any temptation by Satan, or else you will fall. So that's why he says, you are saying, I'm listening to you, but still I can't follow you. I can't remember you. I can't stay away from lust. So that is, so here they have given just in a single word, disobey. Here, disobey actually means they don't want to disobey, but still they can't obey. They lack the power to hold on to God's knowledge, to stay away from Satan. So they, here they say their hearts become filled with the love of the calf, which means the human pleasure. Here if you just take calf as human, so still they have that sensual pleasures. They are addicted to sensual pleasures or bodily pleasures, and that is the reason they lack faith in God. Or because of the lack of faith, doesn't mean they don't have faith. They lack the necessary amount of faith. They have faith, but it is in percentage, not 100 percentage, 50%, 40%, like that. So because of the love of the calf or love of these bodily pleasures, they can't follow that. And God says, that's wrong. Whatever you are doing is wrong. Your faith is not enough. So you are actually converting the knowledge according to you. God says lust is sin. Now everybody around you says no. In no religious scriptures it is said like that. You can have sex, but you should not have sex other than wife, other than your husband. So they are just remodifying, rephrasing the statement according to their pleasure. In Bible, Jesus Christ says, when you see a girl with lust, you have already committed prostitution with her. He never mentioned when you lustfully see a girl other than your wife. He says just a girl. It includes the
Actually,
wife.
actually, that
Hmm.
believing in his soul is the no believing in his message.
Hmm.
It is not possible
Hmm.
uh, when we are in these five vices.
Vices. Yeah.
If there is too much of lust, if there is too much of anger, you can't believe in that message.
Sure.
If you have too much of hast, that's what it said there. If you have hastiness, you can't believe in that. They only disbelieve that.
True.
Automatically, they don't have believe about future. They don't have the believe in his message. They don't have believe in God's message. So they it may lead them to finish their life also,
Hmm.
because they
Yeah.
don't have that power to believe in that. If you
Yeah.
even to believe in God's message, you need the power. That soul
Sure.
needs the power.
So that's why God says you need to stay pure. The first command when you become a
Yeah.
Brahmakumari is you need
Automatically,
to stay celibate. If you don't stay celibate, you can't even understand this knowledge.
yeah. Automatically, when a problem comes to
Mm.
a person,
Mm.
he started becoming pure. At that time, he won't.
Yeah.
He in his
Uh,
mind, lustful thoughts will not come.
yeah.
He will not crave for food which is very tasty.
Mm.
Whatever the food they have, they eat. And this problem,
Mm.
in that only his mind will be there.
Yeah.
At the time of when the punishment comes, or when the time comes,
Mm.
automatically it happens.
Mm.
uh, After that he has to understood, and he have to balance himself. You have to understand, and you have to slowly you have to come out of that lust and everything. Everything should be in a balancing.
Mm. Super, brother. Mm.
So let's go to 94th verse.
Okay.
Say, if the final home with God is yours alone,
Mm.
to the exclusion of all other people,
Mm.
then wish for death if you are sincere.
Super.
So, final home in the sense paradise, I think.
Mm.
If the final home God is yours alone,
Mm.
to the exclusion of other people, it is not for other, it's for me or no. If you think like that,
Mm.
then you can wish for death if you are
Mm.
sincere. But nobody will wish like that.
Yes, they are not ready to die.
Yes.
So here, death
Yeah.
doesn't mean the physical death. Death to this world at the mental level. You are no longer disturbed by this level. Just like if you die, for you the world is dead for you. You don't react to whatever happens in this world. Even if somebody beats your dead body, you are not going to get triggered. So you have to be like that. So that's what called as marjiva life in Hindi, which means dying alive or living dead. You will be
Yeah.
living, you will be doing everything, but you will not react to those five vices. You will not be influenced under the influence of these five vices. But people are not ready to do that. But they want to go to heaven, but they are not ready to do this. If you are not going to die alive, if you are not going to give up all the habits of this world and imbibe all the divine qualities of the new world, which is heaven, then how can you go there? So to give up all the bad qualities of the old world, you need strength, which is received by remembering God as much as possible. Then you have to read Murli daily and imbibe the divine qualities of heaven, because there he reveals how the heaven will be, how people behavior will be, everything he is revealing. So you have to consider yourself to be the resident of heaven, but you are here. But at a mental level, you should be there. You should not be here. Your family is there. Not whatever family you have now, that is not your family. You are just brothers and sisters. That's it. No other relationship with others. If you establish relationship with others and love and bondage with others, then it is going to be very difficult for you to leave this body, because at that point you will remember them, which will attract you again to take birth or you will be living as ghost in this old world itself. So God has come to rescue us from this old world, which is hell. So that is why if you want to really reach the final destination, which is heaven, then you should be willing to die alive, give up all these sensual pleasures. So that's what it
Yeah,
means.
according to me,
Hmm.
one has to give
Hmm.
up all his knowledge, all
Hmm.
his wishes.
Hmm.
If he start believing in God's inspiration,
That's
God's
true. That's
rule,
true. That's
God's
true.
soul.
That's true. Once we have God's
So,
knowledge, we don't have
uh,
anything on our own.
uh,
Not even we don't use our
yeah.
intellect. We use
However, he
only the
guides
God's
us, we
knowledge.
have to go according to that.
That's it. That's the thing.
We don't have anything,
Yeah,
any plan about future or anything like that. That's what we have to wish for. That if you are
yeah.
sincere, just totally
Total
surrender
surrender.
totally to me.
That's
Total
the total
surrender.
surrender.
You don't have any plans about future. I will be guiding you.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the thing.
That is the
Yeah,
continuation coming from
yeah,
above
yeah.
verses.
In Hindi, it is mentioned as Karan Karavan Heart, which means he is the
Hmm.
doer and he is the one who enables us to do.
Yeah.
So we have to remember that. So we are just an instrument of God. Whatever He wants us to do using this instrument, I'm always available. That's the total surrender. You should not use your mind and say, "No, God, I can't do it. How can I do it?" Because you can see that in Bible constantly, whoever God chooses, at first he will be reluctant, saying, "How can I do that? How can I become a king? I'm an ordinary person." God says, "That's true, but you don't know whom you are speaking with. It is God who orders you to do that. If He orders you to do one thing, He will also give the strength, He will also guide you, He will also be with you along the path." So that's the very good thing. Uh, Recently in Bible Old Testament, it is there. When somebody says, "I'm such a weak person, how can I stand against such a mighty army?" Then God says, "You don't know who is speaking with you now. Just have trust. You will see the rest. Success will definitely be on your side because I am on your side." So even in Mahabharata, it is mentioned, wherever truth is, Krishna will be there, and wherever Krishna is, success is guaranteed. So here the
Yeah.
truth is the path of God. So if you follow the path of God, God will be there and success is guaranteed.
So it will be applicable, according to me, it will be applicable for each and every
Mm.
common man
Mm.
when they believe in the wish that God has given to them,
Mm.
and when they when they act according to what how God guides,
Mm.
definitely they will find a success. So that's what if they that is the final those who, if the final home with God is yours alone to the exclusion of other alone, then wish for that. If you are sincere, if we are sincere, we
Mm.
have to do what God how God guides us only. What
Yeah.
that's what it's being said there. And
Yeah.
now we can move to 95th verse.
95.
But they will never wish for it because of what their hands have forwarded. God is aware of the evildoers.
Yeah.
But automatically, no one is believing in God's message alone.
Mm.
Whatever is inspired in everyone's breath, they don't believe in that inspiration. They believe in what their hands have forwarded only. They believe in their knowledge only. They believe in the past life knowledge only. They don't believe in the new knowledge it will be given to them,
Yeah.
so that they will never wish for it.
Yeah. And
They will never wish for that.
yeah, in Brahma Kumaris, God says, uh, if you hide something from me, and if you think that you are cheating me, you are not cheating me, you are cheating yourself. You are depriving yourself from the highest status of heaven. I have come to give you the whole heaven, but it is because of your carelessness you are depriving yourself of the health and wealth and life of heaven. So don't think God is not aware of what you are doing. He is aware of everything, God says. Because it is being recorded somewhere called subtle region. He says whenever he wants to see it, he can see it. But he doesn't actually, if God is staying in front of us, he is not going to know what I'm thinking. But still, our action will reveal what we think. Face is the index of mind. But still, God says, I'm not actually looking into what everybody is thinking. That's not my job. Because I have come to make you equal to me. And if I start reading your mind, maybe you will make me equal to you. That's not God's way, God's work. So that's why God says it is getting recorded somewhere. If there is a need, I will just watch what you have done. What you have done, even with your mind. You may appear good, you may behave good, but maybe you may be wicked at heart. God knows that. So that's what he says. So, for example, if you take class, okay, you don't engage in sex. But still, if your mind is corrupted, always having lustful thoughts, you may think that nobody is watching me. But God says, I am aware of it. And likewise, you may behave lovingly with others, but still maybe you have anger in you towards that particular person. But you will be smilingly speaking with him. God says, I am aware of what's going on in your mind. So you will be punished accordingly. You can't hide anything from me. So that's the thing. Because they are not willing to destroy their five vices. That is the living death. They are not ready to do that. So you have to let go of your old sanskars, old behaviors. People are not ready for that because they are so accustomed to their old habits. So you have to have courage to destroy that habit. So destroying those old habits, sinful habits, is mentioned in all religions as killing the people, killing the evil people. But God doesn't ask to kill evil people. If he asks like that, then he has to kill everybody because everybody has evil in us. So we have to kill the evil in us. So we have to worry about ourselves, not about others. So the only duty for us is to give them the introduction of God. Then it is up to them whether or not they are taking the God's knowledge, whether or not they are following it even after taking the knowledge. It's up to, it is between God and Him. We are not there, but we have to worry about what's going on inside us. So that's the thing. But when you are not paying attention to changing yourself, then obviously you will be committing sins. And God knows that. And you will be punished in the end. And the
Okay, now
final
we can
word.
see 96.
Mm.
You will find them of all mankind the most eager for life, even more than the polytheist. Every one of them wishes he could live 1,000 years, but to be granted a long life will not nudge him from the punishment. God is seeing of what they do, which means
mm,
here it's talking about those who don't believe in the God's inspiration, God's wish, which had been revealed to them through the
mm,
to the soul. The Muslim is one who possesses the peace by believing in God's message alone, which is given to them
mm,
through the soul.
mm,
So one who rejects that, he is the disbeliever.
yes.
So those who don't believe in that God's wish, God's inspiration, they will wish to live even 1,000 years.
Mm,
But if they live also, they will not escape from punishment because God is seeing of what they do.
yes. So, and he is saying this immediately after speaking about living death. So,
What?
about living death, God says, a living dead, you have to die alive for this world. But people are not ready to do that. Even if you compare to those who believe in many gods, like Hindus, even compared to them, God says, you have more eagerness to live long, to dwell in those sensual pleasures. So you need 1,000 years to dwell in that. So even if you are granted 1,000 years, you will not escape from the punishment because you will not stop committing sin unless you
Yeah.
are ready to die alive. So that's why he says,
Yeah,
so
die alive in the sense just
letting go of
totally surrender.
all our old habits, old relationships, everything.
Yeah,
Body
yeah,
consciousness.
letting go of all the,
Uh,
yeah, living the body conscious at the same time,
mm,
letting go of the knowledge, whatever we know, just believing
yeah,
in
whatever.
whatever
The
the
path
guidance
of
he gives
devotion.
us, I will
Yeah,
act according to that only.
yeah,
I don't have any plan according to me.
yeah,
God's plan is my plan.
yeah.
That is what you said, dying.
Dying alive. So, so he is. So the Quran is for Muslims. Bible is for Christians. So he is addressing Muslims. So people think he is saying to somebody else. No, he is saying to Muslims. If you are not ready to die alive, if you are
No,
not
he is
ready
not
to,
addressing Muslims.
mm,
He is not addressing Muslim.
mm.
This is for whole mankind
Yeah,
only.
it is for whole mankind.
Uh,
But Muslims
mankind.
think whatever negative is mentioned in Quran, it is not for Muslims. It is for Jews. It is for Christians.
Yeah,
They think like
they.
that. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying,
but they have
yeah.
to.
So
Yeah,
whoever
basically,
listens to it,
Muslim
it
means
is
the
for
one
them. Whoever
the
listens
one
to
who
it, it
possesses
is for
peace is
them.
the Muslim.
Yeah. Whoever listens to it, it is for them. Don't think it is for others. We have to die
Yeah,
alive.
it should be
Yeah.
taken personally.
Bec-
If I'm
uh,
reading that, I have to take this.
God
If
is
you're reading
speaking
this,
to
you have
me,
to take
not for
this.
others.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
not
thing.
for
Yeah.
others.
I have to change myself. I'm not here to change
Yeah,
others. So that's
yeah,
God's responsibility. So that's the thing. So unless you are ready to change yourself, you can't escape punishment. Nobody can save you. So that's the message of all these 7 points we covered today, brother. And it's
yeah. Okay,
amazing.
okay.
And we are expecting your valid comments. And thank you for your listening to it patiently. And this is our first video, and we will be continuously posting the Quran in order. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Thank you, brother.
thank you.
Mm,
Thank
mm.
you.